That was a long time ago. By the way, just to be clear, when I did American Idol, all they ever did was put horrible singers in front of me. There is a difference. This show, they're good.
Simon Cowell, known for his tough exterior, was brought to tears. Yes, tears, all because of one extraordinary talent, Courtney Hadwin. This young powerhouse stunned the world with her golden buzzer moment, securing her place in music history. But behind the scenes, something happened that shook even Simon to his core. What unexpected twist changed everything? Stay tuned. This story is as emotional as it is unforgettable. It all started in Hartlepool, England, a quiet town where no one expected a rock star to rise. Shy and introverted, Courtney barely spoke in class, but the moment she picked up a microphone, everything changed. Her parents saw it early. Her voice was raw, powerful, beyond her years. At just 10 years old, she took the stage at a small school talent show. No one expected much until she started singing. Teachers whispered, parents leaned in. She wasn't just good, she was electric. Encouraged by family and teachers, she entered competitions, performed locally, and refined her stage presence. But it wasn't about being perfect, it was about passion. Unlike most kids, she idolized legends like Janis Joplin and James Brown, studying not just their voices, but their fire. For Courtney, music wasn't just about singing, it was about feeling every note. And soon, the world would see exactly what she was capable of. By 12, Courtney Hadwin had become a standout in her local music scene, performing at festivals, open mics, and small venues. Offstage, she was shy and reserved. But once the spotlight hit, she transformed. Then came the moment that changed everything. The Voice Kids UK 2017. Nervous but determined, she took the stage and unleashed a fiery rendition of Nutbush City Limit. The crowd went wild. Judges were stunned. Danny Jones, who picked her for his team, knew instantly she was something special. But The Voice Kids was just the beginning. In 2018, Courtney stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, and what happened next was unforgettable. She looked like any nervous 13-year-old, small, quiet, gripping the microphone. The judges were kind, but skeptical. Then, the music started, Hard to Handle, by Otis Redding. Everything changed. Gone was the shy girl. In her place stood a powerhouse, commanding the stage like a rock legend, raw, raspy, and bursting with soul. Her voice electrified the crowd. Within seconds, the audience was on their feet. Before the last note faded, Howie Mandel slammed the golden buzzer. Confetti rained down. Courtney stood in shock, covering her face as Howie declared, "You're a star." Backstage, her family wept with joy. Overnight, she became a viral sensation. Millions watched her audition, and the world couldn't stop talking. But AGT wasn't just about one performance. She had to prove herself again and again. She delivered high-energy, show-stopping renditions of Papa's Got a Brand New Bag and River Deep, Mountain High, cementing her status as a true performer. By the finals, she was one of the season's biggest names. For her last performance, she took on Piece of My Heart, fully embracing the Janis Joplin comparisons. Passionate, fiery, and fearless, she ended the competition on a high. She didn't win the AGT title, but Courtney Hadwin had already won something bigger, a place in music history. Courtney Hadwin didn't win AGT. The title went to magician Shin Lim, leaving fans outraged. But losing wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Soon after, she signed a record deal with Psycho Music and Arista Records, a dream opportunity. Even Simon Cowell believed she had the talent to become one of the greats. She returned for AGT, the champions, in 2019, proving she was more than a one-time sensation. But fame is unpredictable. The transition from viral sensation to lasting artist wasn't easy. In 2019, she released The Cover Session, showcasing her signature sound, but the big question remained. Could she break beyond covers and carve out her own path? Then, just as her career was gaining momentum, the unexpected happened. The pandemic hit, shutting down the music industry. Tours were canceled, albums were postponed, and in the midst of it all, Courtney parted ways with her label. By 2021, she was independent, a risky move for any young artist. But instead of rushing, she took her time. Courtney Hadwin wasn't chasing fame. She was building something real. The silence was unbearable. Fans anxiously scoured social media for updates on Courtney Hadwin, but nothing came. Even Simon Cowell, usually composed, couldn't hide his concern. He had seen young stars rise and fall, but Courtney was different. She had the kind of raw talent that could move the world. Then, after days of uncertainty, a simple message appeared on her Instagram: "I'm going to be okay. Thank you for your love and support. I will be back." The world exhaled. Courtney was alive. But her comeback wouldn't be the triumphant return everyone expected. When she finally emerged, she looked different, exhausted, fragile. The physical injuries were healing, but something deeper had changed. The accident had shaken her to the core, forcing her to confront the pressures of fame. For the first time, she realized she had to slow down, step back, and rediscover why she fell in love with music in the first place. Her journey wasn't over. It was just beginning again. For years, Courtney Hadwin fought to prove she was more than just an AGT sensation. But after everything she had endured, she realized that being an artist couldn't be dictated by the industry. It had to come from within. Could she return to music with the same passion? Or had the industry changed her too much? Even Simon Cowell reflected on the pressure he had placed on young artists like Courtney. He saw now that music wasn't just about fame. It was about staying true to yourself. He knew he had to step back and let Courtney find her own path. Slowly, she returned to the studio, not to chase stardom, but to create music on her own terms. Her songs became raw, vulnerable, and deeply personal. No industry expectations, no pressure, just pure artistry. Her comeback wasn't loud or immediate. There was no rush to release an album or go on tour. Instead, Courtney took her time, rebuilding, rediscovering, and embracing music for what it had always been to her: an escape, a passion, and her true voice. This time, the world would see the real Courtney Hadwin, and for the first time in a long time, she was ready. When she finally released new music, it wasn't the polished, radio-ready sound people expected. Instead, her songs were raw, unfiltered, and deeply personal, woven with the wisdom she had gained during her time away from the spotlight. Tracks like Breakable and That Girl Don't Live Here struck a chord, not because they were crafted for the charts, but because they felt authentic. They weren't just songs, they were pieces of Courtney herself. Her performance at the 2024 New York Pops Gala was another defining moment. This wasn't just about stepping onto the stage, it was about owning it with a quiet, undeniable confidence. It was no longer about proving anything to the world. This time, the only person she needed to prove herself to was herself. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, Courtney Hadwin was walking it with purpose, on her own terms. She was no longer the shy, wide-eyed teenager from AGT. She had grown into something much more: a woman, an artist, a survivor. From the sidelines, Simon Cowell watched with pride. He had seen Courtney face challenges that could have broken her, yet here she was, stronger, more fearless than ever. This was more than just a performance. This was the moment she redefined what it truly means to be an artist. So, what do you think brought Simon to tears? Was it her raw talent, or something even deeper? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.